Hey Freebs Nation, it's Jordan Page with FunCheaperFree.com. Today, we're gonna do it after months and months of asking. We're gonna make the video that is probably the most requested video of all time. I'm gonna give you a kitchen tour and I'm gonna show you how we went from this to this. Welcome to my kitchen, yeah! I'm so excited to finally show you guys the finished product. Let me first start by giving you a little bit of a backstory as to why we changed this kitchen and some of the story that you don't know about this house. So many of you have probably watched my emotional video where I cry telling you how we were able to snag this home, which is far and away, hands down, our dream home. So I'll link to that below. Be sure to check that out to give you some backstory. Now, when we first moved in about 2 years ago, we pretty much had just enough budget to do carpet and paint, which if you remember, the before and after shots are pretty astounding. Carpet and paint is amazing. Never discount that. But one of the things I've always wanted to redo was the kitchen. As we all know, redoing kitchens can get very expensive, especially because Bubba and I are not do-it-yourself people. We believe in cutting corners and saving money in many, many, many aspects of our lives. But with this house being hopefully the last house we ever live in, we wanted to do it once, do it right, and do it really, really well. So in this case, we saved up for a couple of years and we hired out most of what we did in the kitchen and really invested in the quality of everything so that it will hopefully stand the test of time. And by the test of time, I mean 6 little Page kids or more. Who knows? I don't even know at this point. When we moved in, there was a giant countertop that was kind of a boomerang shape. It had built-in bar stools, which I get it. For this house being late 80s, early 90s, that was totally the thing. But for our family, they were kind of the worst bar stools ever because you could only fit a couple of kids. I could hardly reach them when I was serving. So one of the first things we did, get rid of that long boomerang and instead put a giant bar that I love so, so much that can seat not only our entire family, but all their friends that wander over and want to get some food too. I love this thing so much. I love this bar. I love it. With this bar, we have decided to kind of make this area of the kitchen and over there what we call the kid zone. So it is very kid friendly and everything we need for serving our kids and our kids' friends is all in this one place, so I'm not running around like a crazy person throughout my whole kitchen. The way we made it kid friendly is, number one, countertops. We decided to go with quartz instead of a natural stone because they're so easy to clean. We love that we were able to choose the exact marbling and the exact color we wanted. We were able to do an extra thick side, which Bubba was adamant about that. We don't have to seal it or do anything like that, which is so great when they spill pretty much everything on it, let's be honest. The only downside to quartz is that you can't put super hot items on it. So unlike granite or natural stone, you can't put a hot pan. Aside from that, it's fine. I use a hot pad, no big deal. So in this kid zone, within an arm's reach or 1 or 2 steps of this spot, we try to have everything we need to serve our kids as they mostly eat their snacks and meals here or at the breakfast nook that I'll show you in a minute. So what we did is we added a low microwave so that our kids could actually reach it and make many meals themselves. Ooh, fancy. We also have things like the scripture books that we read with them in the morning. We've got bibs. We've got a nice deep garbage can that's easy for them to reach, which also makes it nice for cooking lunch. You just dump stuff in there. One of my favorite features in this whole kitchen, I actually can't take credit for it because they were here when we moved in. We just shuffled them around, are 2 refrigerated drawers in our cabinet. What? Isn't that so cool? This top drawer is kind of like our drink and condiment drawer. We've got cold water bottles ready to go, mostly for guests. And this is where we keep milk for the kids to be able to make their own cereal and oatmeal. We also keep the condiments that our kids use the most, which, of course, a giant jug of ranch and a life supply of ketchup. Let's just call it what it is. The bottom drawer you learned about in my snack video. I will link to that below, but this is our snack drawer. This is where we keep our healthy snacks and our items for lunches that the kids have free reign of. We try to keep it stocked with healthy snacks, fruits, things that make life a lot easier and keep them out of the chips and Oreos, hopefully. And one of our favorite finds were these bar stools. I will try to find a link and link them below. One of the things we looked for were bar stools stools that were easy to clean, had gold finish, quality, and wouldn't rub off. That also wouldn't break the bank. The best part about these chairs is that even though they're white, I was not scared off by them because they're vinyl. Vinyl is awesome because anything wipes off. Because they're white, I can use a magic eraser on it without worrying about it lifting the color. I know you're gonna be curious. The white has not been an issue, and in fact, it's been really, really easy to clean. The one thing I don't like about them, I will say this, because the bar is the way it is, my vacuum can't get under the chairs, so we have to pull out the chairs to clean. It's a total first world problem, but it's a problem. So just keep that in mind. On the back side of this bar, got some hidden cabinets, and what I use these for is not kitchen stuff. This is where the kids' art projects and crafts go. So we have things like painting smocks and aprons, beads, and roller melty things. This is also where I keep messy things like Play-Doh and jewelry making supplies, because despite my best efforts, the projects always end up in the kitchen. So might as well keep them here in the first place and keep them organized and hidden. One thing that we really wanted to do in this kitchen was have as many electrical outlets as physically possible, because before we redid the kitchen, there were like 2 in the whole thing. And I know it's a first world problem, but welcome to the 21st century. You need lots of outlets, right? So our big secret is dun, 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 underneath most of the cabinets in our kitchen, we have entire strips of plugs. So they're hidden out of the way, which we love. There's enough of them that we can leave things like these inexpensive LED night lights that help illuminate the kitchen at night. And no one can see them. They're totally hidden. It's so great. We really wanted to update the lighting in the kitchen. Pretty much everything we bought online, and they ended up being extremely inexpensive, especially for the quality. These we got off of Wayfair. I will do my best to find a link. I don't know if they still have them anymore, but check the link below. We love the orb lights. The last part of the kids zone is this area. So one of the things I really wanted were some bar stools that could fit at the island so that the kids could help me cook. So I loved having this counter space as a hangover so that they could pull right up to the counter and help me chop and wash and cook and whatever else. So we actually call this the hand washing sink or the vegetable washing sink, and that's the dishes sink. Stuff really piles up over there, so it's kind of nice having a second little buddy that's usually wide open. It has a working garbage disposal. Yeah. It's got a fully functioning faucet with a sprayer, which comes in handy for washing vegetables. Our faucets are touch faucets. They're cool. They're cool, kind of a pain, but they're mostly cool. Jury's still out on them. One thing we really love about this sink is this instant water faucet. So it comes out ice cold and boiling hot. So for our kids, especially with things like oatmeal, the water is hot enough that they don't even need to microwave it. They can cook their food right there. We just had to train them, of course, not to turn this on and wash their hands with it, because I mean, this water is hot, smoking hot. One of the things that we decided we're not big fans of is actually the automatic soap dispenser, because it was so sensitive that every time we'd walk by, it would squirt out soap. So actually, we did not refill this. We have just gone back to the plain old hand soap. Take that advice for what it's worth. The soap dispenser, not so much. One of the things that we always have to have in this kid zone is a foldable kid stool. We actually have 2 of them at different places in the kitchen, and it really makes it nice and easy for the kids to wash their hands as well as help me cook. Another thing, we have an ice maker in our cabinet. This was already here with the previous owner. It's actually kind of one of my favorite things ever. I love having an ice maker, especially one that's hidden. The difference is when your baby finds out, then you find your baby playing in the ice maker. So if you find a solution for that problem, let me know. But the ice is great. Many of our meals are right here at this breakfast nook that we put in. I'll give you a little tour of that later. It's really handy then to have everything we need to feed the kids and ourselves all right here. So it's almost like an open dining window. So we've got, of course, all the silverware. We've got plates. The bottom drawer, yes, a drawer, is where we put all of the kid plates, cups, bowls, lids, everything the kids need to be completely self-sufficient, to get their own plates and cups, and most importantly, everything is within arm's reach of them, including the grown-up dishes, because our kids are the ones who empty the dishwashers. And we found that when the plates and bowls were up high, they were not able to help us put them away. So we try to keep everything at the kids' level so they can help us put dishes away. Try it, parents. You can thank me later. And that goes for paper goods as well. We try to keep all of our paper plates nice and handy so that when we use those, kids can grab them themselves. Put them to work, guys. let them work. So that's the kid zone, the first part of the kitchen. Now we're in the second zone, which I call the cooking zone. If you remember from the before picture, you may recognize that this cooktop actually used to be right here. This island used to be quite a bit closer, which was a little bit annoying because then when the dishwasher was down, you couldn't walk by it. So one of the things I really wanted to do was push this island back. There was more space and get this dang cooktop out of the way so my kids' little fingers couldn't be up in it while I was cooking. It's kind of terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. So the cooktop is now here, and then again, within arm's reach of this one spot is everything I need for cooking. Let me show you what that is. So the cooktop, of course, and then one of my favorite features of the kitchen, something I've always wanted in a house, is a pot filler. We were down to the studs, so to put in this pot filler actually was not very expensive. What it allows me to do is fill heavy pots with water right on the stove without having to carry from the sink and back. So cool. Below the cooktop, we got everything we need for cooking. One thing about the previous kitchen is that it was all cabinets. There were very few drawers in the entire kitchen, which actually made it hard to keep things organized. So what we did instead, pretty much everything is drawers, including pots and pan drawer. We made them triple wide, extra deep, so that every pot, pan, and lid we have could fit in one drawer in one place. And one of my organization hacks is to use a drying rack to store your lids and to keep them upright, because then it can save you a lot more space for the actual pots and pans. Okay, so here's kind of a weird one, but bear with me. Next to the pots and pans, I have a drawer of appliances right under my cooktop. Let me tell you what, this is probably one of the handiest spaces in my entire kitchen. As I'm cooking on the stove and prepping dinner, I have all of the small appliances that I use most right here. A hand blender, my Instant Pot, we've got a food processor, my blender, we've got choppers, even a vegetable steamer. Pretty much anything I need to make a complete dinner. I'm not running around like a mad woman. Also, while I'm cooking, I'm usually multitasking, so I did preserve myself one drawer that the kids know is mommy's drawer. This is basically my kitchen junk drawer, but it's where I keep things like iPads for watching a show while I'm cooking or pulling up recipes. I've got all the chargers I need, I've got Sharpies, all the mom stuff. With it, I also keep a charger, again, in one of those hidden power strips that I can be charging my phone while I'm cooking. And you may have noticed my giant block of Cutco knives. Like I said, I tend to be frugal in pretty much everything in my life. Part of being frugal is knowing when to invest in something quality. My husband sold Cutco in college. These knives were the knives that he used as his display in college over 15 years ago, and they still work as well today. So that's this side of my cooking zone. On this side is everything else I need for cooking. So this drawer, again, we went really big, extra wide drawers. This has all of our tongs. What are these called? Cookie measuring thingies, all this sorts of stuff. Peelers, everything that I need within a hand's grasp. This, we left exactly where it was. Previous owners put this in. It is awesome. It's a warming drawer. When you're done cooking and you take something out of the oven or off the stove, you can actually put it in the drawer and set the temperature, keep it warm until you're ready to eat. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Below that, we have all of our casserole dishes and baking pans. Again, makes it really handy as I get things prepped on the stove or chopped here on the counter. I can just put them straight in the pans. You've probably seen this in my kitchen organization blog post, but I'm a big believer in keeping your spices in a drawer. There are some spices that wouldn't fit in a drawer very well, but for the ones that do, keep them alphabetized, label up in a drawer so that while you're cooking, you can quickly grab exactly what you need. Bada bing, bada boom. Your taste buds thank you, and so does your sanity. Just try it. For the oversized spices, oils, other things you need for cooking, I do keep that in this skinny cabinet here. I'm also a bit of a spice hoarder if you can't tell. That's where I keep those. Last part of my cooking zone, I've got a big drawer where I keep cutting boards handy. I keep my hot mitt thingies and my aprons and my towels. And I keep all of that in one drawer because again, it's quick and easy to grab while I'm cooking. I also have a second drawer of kind of odds and ends. And then yet another garbage can system, because as I'm cooking, it's nice to have a garbage can where I can just dump stuff without having to run across the kitchen, dripping nasty chicken goomba as it goes. I'm a disastrous chef. I make giant, giant messes, and I really wanted my cooking zone to be next to a cleaning zone that had plenty of space for piling up nasty, dirty stuff. Let me show you how I've made this as efficient as possible. Number one, well actually, maybe I should say number two because I believe in twos over here. I believe in 2 dishwashers first and foremost. This was one of the first things I wanted to put into this kitchen, and it has been an absolute lifesaver. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever. One of the things I also opted for was 2 sinks. I love having the deep farmhouse sink. It was important for me to have a nice fireplace sink. I actually prefer white sinks to black or stainless steel just because they look cleaner. We had a stainless steel one and it always had water spots on it. So for me, I love the white, easy to clean. But I really wanted one that had a divider in it because as the dishes pile up, we're able to keep the dirty dishes on one side and then still have this sink open for washing things, rinsing things, and running the garbage disposal without the dishes blocking it. I believe in always having 2 dish brushes. One for scraping the nasty egg, food, pasta, sauce stuff, gross things off the plate, and then a nice clean one for cleaning after. You don't want to like drink out of a cup that you used to wash with like egg goomba in it. Just have 2. Dirty, clean. The last zone in my kitchen, if you will, it was important to me to have a lot of counter space and have everything I need for baking within arm's reach because again, I'm a disastrous chef. I'm an even more disastrous baker. I mean, we're talking big messes, big messes. Everything I need for baking is right here, starting with this cupboard that has just generic baking stuff. The vanilla, the honey, the oil, the baking powder, the spices that are specific for baking. This is also where I keep my cookbooks, rainbow order for prettiness, of course. This is where I keep my recipe holder. I love this. By the way, total side note, I will try to find one of these and link to it, but it's amazing. It keeps your recipe books open while you're baking as your hands are nasty what your recipe is saying right there. These are great. I keep my big mixing bowls here. I keep my mixer out on the counter because it's too big to fit in a drawer. All of my other baking items, again, drawers, not cabinets. I've got my bread pans, I've got an ice cream maker, some measuring cups, strainers, choppers, bundt pans, lots and lots of mixing bowls and serving bowls. Over here, I also have kind of my storage area, which makes sense as it's near the cleaning zone. So anything I need to store food is here, including Ziploc, saran wrap, foil, lots of Tupperware. Got the smaller Tupperware with the corresponding lids here. We've got the larger Tupperware with oversized lids here, meal planning containers on the top, and any lids that don't fit nicely in a drawer, I actually keep over here in this skinny cupboard because then they're easy to grab because we all know how miserable it is to try to organize Tupperware when the lids are like everywhere, spilling out of the drawer and you can't even open the drawer and it's a total nightmare. This is a lifesaver. Some of the things that I did functionally that are different in this kitchen, aside from moving the cooktop, sliding this island over to give more space, I moved the ovens. The ovens used to be here, and this allowed us a little bit of space to put in these tall, skinny cupboards. And the big question was, what the heck do you do with really skinny cupboards? This was our solution. We use them now as our water bottle, blender bottle, lunch bottle cupboards. Because let me tell you what, where do you guys store your water bottles? This was such a pain point for us. We had them in the pantry and in drawers and in baskets and it was kind of a nightmare. So this actually has become really super handy for us. And then up here, it's kind of a continuation of the baking station. We're still in the process of switching over, but this is where we keep a lot of our baking items, our drink syrups, our ice cream flavors, things like that. Or we will, in theory, once I get around to actually. And if you look way up here, thank goodness I've got long gangly arms, this is where I keep all of my major cutting boards, my cooling rack, my baking pans, my long bread pan. I love having these up high. If somebody can't reach them, they can bring over this sturdy bar stool. I love using the vertical space in our kitchen, and it was really important for me to have our cabinets go all the way up. Don't waste that space in your own kitchen if you can. One of the unconventional design elements that I really wanted in this kitchen was I wanted our countertop to hang over the cabinet. I wanted to have a little bit of a lift so that as I'm cooking, my kids could pull up a chair on the other side of the island and help me cook. And it's been a really fun way for our family to gather and cook together without having too many cooks in the kitchen. And then from the baking zone, I actually have another zone that's cheating a little bit because that's not exactly in my kitchen, but it's what we call the serving zone in our dining room. Come on in. We are actually in our formal dining room right now, which a lot of people don't use. However, we in the Page household use our formal dining room every single week because we've made it functional and an extension of our kitchen. So not only do we have a giant table that seats as many people as we need to, but we added all this built-in cabinetry that anything we need for serving, entertaining, holidays is all here in one place. It has a home and it makes it really easy to entertain as a natural transition from the kitchen. This is the same countertop that we have in the kitchen, so this is quartz. Everything we have in our kitchen is pretty much all faux marble except for our backsplash. This herringbone backsplash is marble and it is kind of my favorite thing ever. It's actually the same backsplash we have in our kitchen, but you may notice it a little more in here simply because we chose to do a dark route, which really makes the pattern pop. And then down here, we kind of did this built-in hutch area, which again is just an extension of serving. So this is where we keep we have nice shallow drawers for party items, serving dishes, flat platters, things that are so awkward to store. And then my real secret is I actually have them combine the two bottom shallow drawers and make one giant big empty drawer for all of the big, awkward, clunky party stuff that I never knew where to store. So you've got lanterns and candles for centerpieces, big drink jugs, oversized crock pots, anything that's big and awkward and didn't have a home in our kitchen, we kind of just hide in here and it's been really handy. And then again, of course, the shallow drawers are perfect for even baking and party items and all the stuff that, you know, you just never know where to put. Tablecloths, cloth napkins, napkin rings, anything for serving. And then again, big clunky stuff that just needs a home. Place for everything, everything in its place. That's all you need in life. That's it. When we moved in, one of our favorite parts about the house, but one of the things that stumped us the most was this sunroom. It's big, it's open, kind of hot, and it was just kind of an awkward space that we didn't know what to do with. So as we redid our kitchen, we found the perfect use for this sunroom. What we did is we put in a breakfast nook and a game area. He built in some cabinets for us. We added some custom-made vinyl padding to make it more of like a bench. We bought this table from online. I will link to this. We got some chairs from IKEA. And now this is actually the space where we eat the most, which is really handy because it's right across from our kids zone, as I explained earlier. So this is usually where breakfast happens and all sorts of stuff here. And then over on this side of the sunroom, we just continued those bench seats. And over here, we actually use this as our board game area. We keep all of our board games, our puzzles, our cards in these hidden drawers so that when we want to play a game as a family, we actually have a space. We can keep these fairly organized. If the kids want to sit and play together, they can sit at the window and I don't know, whatever else. It was use of an awkward space and it's been awesome. We even have some hidden storage over here too in the breakfast nook. And this is where we keep all of their weird kinetic sand and Play-Doh and all the stuff that needs to be played at a table. We kind of keep it hidden. We did not change anything about the pantry except that we changed the door from a swinging hinge door to a barn door. This has made all the difference for us. As a hinge door, we found that it was blocking so much usable space. By adding a trap and a barn door, it now slides open just like a pocket door, and we are able to use every spare inch of our pantry for storage. One of the things that everyone needs in their kitchen area, a hair basket. I've talked about this before, but instead of keeping all of the stuff for doing my kids' hair in the bathrooms or up in their rooms, I keep it right here in the kitchen so that in the morning as they're eating breakfast, I can just pull out whatever I need, do their hair on the spot, keeps everything moving a lot quicker in the mornings. The last part of our kitchen renovation was the other half of this sunroom. We built a homework area and then kind of a seating area right here, simply by rearranging and redoing a few of the things that they already had. If you guys want to know more about this space, just let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll do a little homework station tour if you want. An essential in any Page family kitchen is a Bluetooth speaker. One with a disco ball definitely makes the chores and dishes go a lot faster. So there you go, that's our new kitchen. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and most importantly, I hope it maybe gave you some inspiration to use in your own kitchen. Whether maybe someday you're redesigning your own or building a house, or maybe you're just trying to reorganize and make your kitchen a little more functional. Hopefully this gave you a few ideas to use in your own space. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I wanna know, do you do any of these tips in your own kitchen? Or what was your favorite part? Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see any other house tour videos, will you let me know? I don't know, it's my first one, so let me know what you think. Be sure to subscribe, new videos every single Thursday. Okay, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go use this kitchen and go whip something up. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day, bye!